Matt, do you remember what I texted you on Sunday morning? Do you remember what I texted you?
Thinking. I don't think so.
I texted you that last night I had a dream, meaning Saturday night, I had a dream that I went 0-5 on my podcast picks.
Yes.
And this was all, I texted you this Sunday morning. I'm like, I don't feel good at all about this.
Yep.
Sure enough, and I forget if we talked about it last week or not on the podcast or off the podcast, but either way, we both looked at each other and we were like, we want nothing to do with this card. This card sucks, meaning week 14.
Hated it.
Sure enough, we went 2-8 last week.
That's not good.
1-4 for me, 1-4 for you. So my dream or my nightmare almost came true of going 0-5, but it did not. I did get the Monday Night Football win, but we lost both best bets. Both best bets. We don't need to go through it, do we?
We do. It's part of
we don't.
The
no, we
recap
don't.
is part
Listen. The recap is we had a rough week. We haven't had this rougher week the entire season. So lay off of us, and we're going to move forward. It's as simple as that.
The reality is we were due for some regression. This happens, right? We had 9 straight winning weeks as a show. Like, that's phenomenal run. Best bet didn't come through for me last week. 11-3 on the year there. 1-4 was not what I wanted. I will say, I do want to recap a couple things because I do want to talk about my picks. You don't have to. We can ignore.
We don't need to.
I want.
What are we going to talk about? Shitty they were?
No, I want to talk about something.
What?
If I ever bet the Los Angeles Chargers again, I put this on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I want someone to come to my house and directly punch me in the throat. Don't even have to tell me why.
We won't have to now because now they're going with Easton stick or something.
There's now value in the Chargers. I'm just going to say this, but I'm not going to touch them. Not this week. Not doing it.
No, we got to see
Kansas City.
Well, it's Thursday Night Football anyways. We don't do Thursday bets, but Thursday bets.
We have to talk about Kansas City super quick because it's the talk of the NFL. That game.
We'll talk about Kansas City coming up because they are part of my upcoming here, actually.
Fine. 1-4 each. Let me just give the overall records.
Just do that, and we'll move the fuck on. Because honestly, like mentally, I've already.
Yeah, we're
Sunday was a very dark day for me in terms of the gambling. Like nothing was hitting for me going back to Thursday. I hit the under on the Pats Steelers.
Yep.
Vegas cleaned the fuck up on that. By the way,
sure did.
Everybody was on the under, and that I should have saw that coming. Honestly,
set the tone.
Navy did not cover.
Yep.
That hurt. Basketball wasn't great. And then Sunday, just our picks. Nothing was good. Oh, and on top of that, I had an anytime touchdown of Brandon Cooks. Mm-hmm. He caught it, and he got tackled at the goal line. I don't know if you remember that. Mm-hmm. And then I had a prop of anytime touchdown, Jerick McKinnon, and over 18.5 receiving yards. Guess how many receiving yards he had? 18. Some places said 19, and I almost lost it, but most places then corrected it to 18 yards.
Oh, God.
It was just that kind of day.
That's the kind of day.
So just to our overall record, week 14 sucked, and let's move forward.
Listen, it's okay. We both went 1-4. We sucked. Overall record for you, 39-30-1, 4-10 best bets. Overall record for me, 37-32-1. 11-3 on best bets. What we talked about last week is how much we hated the card. What I walked into the studio today saying, boy, did we suck last week, but
we love this card this week.
Love this card. This might be my favorite card of the season. Yeah. Love this card.
I'm not going to stop.
No, I'm going to bet 12 fucking games. And you know what? I'm going to put them all on Twitter.
You should.
Every single one of them.
That's how confident you are in this card.
Love it. College basketball was 6-3 on Twitter, by the way, so follow that.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. Well, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Bettor in Laws. Mm-hmm. Subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. And, of course, you can find us on YouTube. Subscribe to us there. Push for notifications, all that stuff. If you're a first-time listener, we go through 5 total likes, 4 of which are likes. 1 at the end of the podcast is our best bet of the week.
Yes.
My best bets suck. Fade me. But Matthew's best bets have been crushing this year, 11-3 for best bets. So stay tuned for that at the end of the podcast. We'll turn the page on week 14, and we're going to go ahead to week 15. Just one more quick note on week 14. This was from thecovers.com, I believe, including Monday night's Giants-Titans victories. 8 underdogs won in week 14, the most in any NFL week this season. So we had 8 underdogs win. And we saw more overs coming last week.
They're coming.
As well, too. So now the unders are now hitting at a 54% total. So now it's kind of coming back down. It's evening out. Okay. All right. So why don't you go first for your first like?
All right. I like that because I'm going to start with one of the Saturday games, Tuck. We got 3 Saturday games this week.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I got a Saturday night special, and you're going to specifically love this because I am going to back your Detroit Lions -4. Man. Yeah. Now, Tucker, is the time to back Detroit. So I know last week we had a head-to-head where I had Chicago, you had Detroit, and that was my one win. So at least someone had to win that game. So that was at least nice for me. However,
could have tied.
No, because I had the 3.5 at a different book. But yeah, we could have did a nice push.
I know.
Detroit decided not to show up at all. So now's the time to back them, though. Okay, so Saturday night, primetime game in Detroit. Place will be fired up. They need this game like they need air because they're playing like total dog shit over the last few weeks. On the flip side, Denver, they continue, Tucker, to get every break imaginable. Like injuries benefiting them. Justin Herbert last week going down in that game.
If Herbert got hurt, they would have won that game.
Which is fine, because their coach is a fucking moron who decides to go for it twice inside the 10 and can't convert a 4th down. But I digress. You're right. But still, Herbert, they've played a ton of backup QBs in this run. And most importantly, they've been the beneficiary of so many turnovers. And turnovers in the gambling world, we consider that luck. It's not always something you can just count on. And when you count on them and don't get them, you lose games. So this is a big spot for Detroit to not turn the ball over. And I think at home, they will do much better with that, playing a little bit more ball control. So you have this ultra-motivated Detroit Lions team going back into the Dome in the get-right spot.
They haven't been there since Thanksgiving. Oh, no, they played the Bears. That's right. Yeah,
they played the Bears
a couple weeks ago.
But they lost a couple games in the Dome. But now they really need to get back at this, right? So the look ahead for their schedule is not pretty if they lose this game. So they got 2 games with Minnesota, who's surging defensively. I mean, say what you want about the Raiders and their offense. They still shut out an NFL team, right? So, and they're playing much better there. So if you don't get it right here, you got a team that's playing really good defense and hot at the end of the year. Plus, you have to play Dallas in Dallas. So this is a must-win spot for Detroit. They need it for their confidence level. The Lions also 6-0 ATS in their last 6 after a loss, Tucker, to which they usually win comfortably in those matchups by covering by double digits there. So that's something I like in our favor. And they're still a different team at home, right? I think while I do believe the Broncos are better coached, yes, I believe Sean Payton's a better coach than Dan Campbell.
Sure.
I think that the overall talent here is just going to overweigh. I think they get back to the run game, open up the pass game. Lions -4 all day. They win by 7 or more.
Honestly, this was probably going to be one of my likes. I just didn't want to pick the Lions for a 5th straight week for the podcast's sake.
Bet them with me.
Yeah, I do like them. 6 like for me.
There we go.
But not an official like just because I just don't want to pick the Lions 5 weeks in a row. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I mean, the 4 makes me a little hesitant, being like, hey, this could be, Broncos is still playing legit. Defense has been solid. The extra point there makes me a little nervous there, but nonetheless, 6 like for me.
I think it's closer to 7 points than it is 4, and I think it's
I think
possible double digits.
I think they get back to basics on offense. They're going to pound David Montgomery. You saw Austin Eckler's been struggling all year, have success against this defense last week. So I think they're just going to get back to basics. And, I think it's a good spot for the Lions
Gibbs,
here.
too. Gibbs. Give me more Gibbs.
Yeah, it's
Feed me Gibbs.
Yeah, especially at home. But he's been more effective when playing from behind.
Yeah.
But, still, get back to basics. I like that pick. All right, my first like on this slate, I got no Saturday action looking at it, actually. So I'm going to jump ahead. Do you have any other Saturday picks?
I don't. No.
Okay. All right, let's jump ahead to Sunday. I'm looking at the 1 o'clock slate here. Give me the New England Patriots plus 9.5. I actually might wait until Sunday to see if this moves to double digits. It's kind of been hovering there. What did this open at? Did it open at 10?
This one opened. Give me 1 second.
Sure, yeah.
I think it was 10.5. Yes, 10.5.
Okay, so you're seeing some money come in on the Patriots here, and I'd still be fine with 9.5. This is a great spot for the Patriots. We got the extended Thursday night football bye. Patriots are coming off a win. Looks like they finally have some offense and some confidence somewhat in their quarterback. Zappy looks... He had the best first half or any half out of this entire Patriots season that we've seen out of the quarterback position. Coming off a big win on the Steelers here. Chiefs, on top of that, they're coming off a devastating prime time, 425, big matchup with the Bills. And we all saw what happened, the Kadarius Toney offside there. And then, obviously we all know it's been over-talked about, so we don't have to really get into it, but clearly he was offsides, it was a penalty, whatever. But the crybaby stuff of the Chiefs. So the biggest story there is not so much Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes bitching about the refs.
Nope.
It's the fact that their frustration has been building this entire season about the offense, and it exploded when this happened. That's where this frustration stems from.
100%. 100%.
And it finally came out. So this has turned into a fringe, chaotic situation on the Chiefs' offense here. I think the Patriots' defense, they can contain Travis Kelce, and they can let Patrick Mahomes try and beat them with their shitty wideouts, besides Rashee Rice, who they're finally rolling out full-time here. I don't know what Isaiah Pacheco's status is. Clyde Edwards-Helaire sucks. So keep an eye on Pacheco's status there. And I think this might be a sneaky bump in Gillette Stadium here on Sunday. I mentioned they're coming off a win. The crowd's going to be buzzing about Zappy. With the Chiefs in town, whenever the Chiefs are in town, there's going to be buzz in that stadium. And on top of that, this is the game that was flexed out of Monday Night Football. So I wonder if there's going to be some sort of a bulletin board material for the Patriots locker room, being like, hey, we got flexed out of this. We're going to show the NFL what's what. I don't know. They suck. We all know they suck.
Yeah.
But the locker room could be jumping there. So Chiefs win the game, yes, but I think the Patriots can keep it close and cover 9.5 here.
I don't have a real feel for this game. This is one of the ones I just have to stay away from this week.
I feel pretty good about it as a Patriots fan.
Yeah, I can see why. I do see the side that you're on. I could also see the Chiefs being like, let's get back to basics here and figure out a way to put up fucking 30. Now, are they going to do that? It's not just easy. That's not how it works in the NFL. I don't think they're going to do that. But if ever
not
a
against
spot,
this defense.
If ever a spot to wake up, it's here. I have one thing to say about the Chiefs, and you're not moving me forward. Again, I wanted to say this in the recap. I wanted to do it in the recap, but we're going to do it now.
No, yeah, this is the moment where I said we'll talk about the Chiefs later.
Yes.
This is now later.
Welcome to later.
Yeah.
No. I have to get this off my chest. I've been fighting with Chiefs fans on Twitter. Oh, my God, you babies. Patrick Mahomes, the way you acted, you're a child. When Josh Allen crosses that field and you go up to him and you're bitching about the refs to Josh Allen, who, by the way, say what you want, but that drive was one part of that game. You could have not gone down 14-0. Mahomes, you didn't have to throw your first.
How much time was left? A minute 20 something?
Minute 20 seconds. Like, whatever. Fluke play, sure. I get it. I was mad the call happened too. I had a lot of money on the Chiefs.
I did too.
But guess the fuck what? Stop crying. You literally won a Super Bowl on a pass interference call. You won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster, right?
Wake up. And he's saying, we just want the players to determine the outcome. Do ya? Because then you're not getting your ring.
Right.
So shut up, Mahomes. And shut up, you babies and you fans. You have the refs in your back pocket for the last 5 years with every game. I don't want to hear it. Loser organization. I hope the Pats win outright. I don't say that often.
I agree with you, by the way. I might add that I have mixed emotions about their reaction to that because part of me is like, all right, shut the fuck up, you crybaby. Like, he was offsides. It wasn't even close. Like, we all know it wasn't close. Like, his penis was over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
like, he was that far
close.
over it. But the other part of me is just like, he's right.
Yeah, you don't have to make the call.
No,
you don't.
He's right in terms of it's another week where we're bitching.
Sure.
The fans
Sure.
are bitching about the refs, and we're not talking about what was a terrific game.
Yeah.
We're all talking about the refs. That he's right about. This is not the correct situation to bring that up.
I will say, though, the refs, say what you want about them, and I've been hard on them all year. You know that. Anybody who's listened to this podcast knows I've bitched about the refs 90% of the weeks.
It's been bad this year.
But, like, at the end of the day, most refs, I'm not going to say all, but most refs don't want to be in the spotlight of having to make that call. They just don't.
Hey.
Like, they don't want it to be about them either. But the guy was fucking offsides. I hate it because they call it sometimes. They don't call it sometimes. It should be something that's reviewed in the offseason and figure out a consistent way to call it and move forward. But they called it.
So what would have been worse, looking at it in hindsight, what happened in the way it happened with them actually calling the penalty, or would have been worse if the screen grab that we all saw from the All-22 of Kadarius Toney clearly well offsides, if that went viral and they didn't call it, because I think that could have been worse. Because everybody would be like, oh, the NFL just loves the Chiefs, blah, 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 blah. I think that would have been worse.
That would have been me.
Looking at it in hindsight, best case scenario for the NFL here in terms of they called it, they got the penalty right.
Yeah.
This was not on the refs. Sorry, it wasn't.
Nope.
So that's all I got to say on that. In terms of this game, honestly, if you want to do a long shot money line, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't know what the money line is at. I'm talking like a sprinkle. It's plus 340.
$1?
Plus 340.
Plus 340. Okay, yeah. Plus 340.
I don't hate it.
Okay, yeah.
I don't hate it.
That's confidence right there.
It looks. It's not confidence. It's just like it's everything is adding up. It's a good spot for the Pats. You see this chaos happening with the Chiefs. They can't figure out on offense. It seems like Belichick could win out.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
That's all. It's a sprinkle. It's a sprinkle. They're going to cover 9.5. Sprinkle money line. That's all. That's all.
All right, buddy.
All right. What is your second like for this week?
All right, we're going back to the well. My Chicago Bears plus 3.5. Let me ask you this question, Tucker. Who in God's green earth is giving Joe Flacco more than a field goal in an NFL game against a team that's not playing a backup quarterback? So sorry, the Bears are surging. Anybody watching these games can tell you they're surging. They got Fields back. He's playing well. I was critical of him early on in the year, but ever since he's come back, the last few games, they're playing mistake-free football where they're not overthinking things. They're letting Fields be Fields. He's running when he needs to run. He's passing the ball. They get the run game going. The big change in the Bears, though, is their defense. I know I mentioned last week that since Montez Sweat's got there, they've been fantastic. Well, how about this? The rush defense and scoring defense have been top 10 in every single advanced stat you can find since Montez Sweat was traded to the Bears. On top of that, their run defense is now second in the league, only behind the 49ers, still stopping at 80 yards a game here. And the Browns want to run the ball. That's the strength. That's why Joe Flacco has open receivers, because they know they want to run with Ford and Hunt. And anybody else they put in that backfield, they want to run and pass off of it. Well, the Bears are going to make you not get second and short, play action pass, third and short, play action pass. They're going to get you're going to be passing third and long, second and long. Like, these are the downs that matter. And what we're seeing is Jalen Johnson, cornerback for the Bears, is outstanding. In my opinion, a top 5 cornerback in the league. Really like him. He's going to follow Cooper around the field. So, who's winning this game? I really don't know who wins the game. I would not lay more than 2.5 with Cleveland. In fact, I wouldn't even do that because I think the Bears have a real chance to win it here. I know Cleveland's defense at home has been very different, but even lately, not so great. And you saw Trevor Lawrence limping around the field in the second half there. Gutting out for his team, he almost came back and almost covered that game. They were not 100% healthy. They're banged up all over the place coming into that game. So we're seeing Chicago with growing confidence. Like I just said, I think they can win the game. I think Cleveland, if they win, it's a field goal max, so anything above, give me the Bears plus 3.5. I like this.
Yeah,
game.
this is under my joining the Lions with a near here in my notes. Bears are legit. They're playing hard. Yeah. They still have a very outside shot of making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's outside. The NFC is bunched up.
They're 5-8, but yeah, NFC is bunched up, like you said. They should have won 4 in a row.
What was the game in there that they didn't win?
Detroit.
Oh, right. Yeah, they blew that big lead to Detroit.
They blew the lead in Detroit, and that's a tough place to play, but, they've won 3 of their last 4.
Yep.
Browns' offensive line, they got banged up last week.
Yes.
I think they lost somebody for the year, I think. I don't have any names in front of me, but they got banged up nonetheless.
They did. They got 2 starting injuries on the line. Potential. One's definitely out. One's potential to be out. So that was another thing to watch there.
And clearly, Justin Fields just looks like the Justin Fields that we saw last year when he was most effective since he's returned from IR. And forgive me if you mentioned this, but the Browns are 3-10-1 against the spread after win. Since the start of last season, and they're 2-4-1 in this trend this season. Mm-hmm. So this was a near like for me as well. There's too many likes. There's too many likes to go around. We like this card.
A lot of action on this card.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my second like for the week. Going to look at Lambeau Field here. The Packers coming off a tough Monday night loss in New York to take on a red-hot Jets team led by Tommy DeVito. More on them coming up. This is a get-right spot for the Packers. They're 6-7 on the season. They're facing a Bucs secondary that very well could be the worst in the league. Did you see what they allowed from Desmond Ridder last week? 347 passing yards from Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, not good.
170 yards from Drake London.
Drake London, yeah.
Who's a great wideout.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, about 170 yards.
Yep.
Holy Moses.
Welcome to the NFL.
This is a defense that's yielding the 5th most fantasy points to quarterbacks, by the way, in the Bucs. I think it's a good bounce-back spot at Lambeau Field with the Packers. They seem to dominate in December. Just a fun little trend here, by the way. The Bucs are 1-14 straight up in their last 15 regular season games in Green Bay. Now, this dates back to 1990, so how much stock can we really put into that? But still, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Florida team going there, Lambeau Field in cold December. I trust Jordan Love. I didn't mid-season, but he's really turning it around with his weapons. You mentioned we were talking about Reed off air. You got Dobbs. Wicks is coming on. Tucker Kraft has looked good at the tight end in place of Luke Musgrave. I don't know what Aaron Jones' status is, if he's going to be back for this one. Still, give me the Packers, -3, home versus the Buccaneers, my second like.
Yeah, I like it. I lean that way. I just don't know who's playing for the Packers. Like Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, I just feel like I just assume they're not playing at this point, the way that things are going. But they are. I think they were both close last week, so you just try to assume. Again, it's early. We record on Wednesday afternoon, so it's hard to see exactly what the status is of these
Wednesdays
guys.
are like a first indicator of
practice
injury
day,
reports. Yeah, so we haven't seen anything come out yet.
I know they were close last week, but I don't know. They're used to playing without him at this point, I feel like. But if they do play, it's such an added benefit that would raise into one of my top likes as well, I would say. But I only laid off it for the card because I didn't know who's playing there. But to your point, Tampa coming to Lambeau, they're so banged up in the secondary. That was a hell of a game last week against Atlanta, actually. It was a pretty good game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Bucs should have lost that game. I don't think the Bucs are a very good team, and again, it's in a terrible NFC South. They can afford to drop one. I guess in that division,
Sure.
All three teams are 6-7, and you obviously have the Panthers at 1-12. Every team can afford to drop one there, so this seems like it's a nice spot for the Packers there.
Yeah.
Your third like.
It's a double like.
Double like.
We
That's
got
right.
a double like here today, and it's probably the squarest on the board, Tuck. Let's just be realistic.
This made me a little nervous, but I'm confident.
Yeah, and let's just give it to you. I get the LA Rams -6.5, and like I said, probably the squarest on the board, if not one other. I could point to another game that's probably a little more square, but let's talk about this one because we're here. Washington is very bad. I don't care that they're coming off a bye. Their defense is atrocious. Since they traded Chase Young and Montez Sweat, they've given up 17 to New England, which at that point was like giving up 70 to Miami. You give up 29 to Seattle, 31 to the Giants, 45 to Dallas, 45 to Miami. The Rams are going to follow this trend. They're getting healthier on offense. Cooper Kupp's starting to get a little bit back to his old self.
He looked good last week.
Yep. Kyron Williams makes all the difference to this Rams offense. Obviously, Stafford as well, being healthy. They're clicking. They're clicking. And they found something in that tight end Allen as well, I think, with Higbee being out. Kid Allen played a nice game last week. So even him is a weapon for that Rams team.
And Sean McVay, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like the other day during his presser that their offense is at their best when they have a healthy Kyron Williams there. And since he's come off of injury, IR, he has been absolutely electric.
Yeah.
And the offense overall has just been clicking on all cylinders.
Yep. I just want to add one other thing here, and then I'll give it to your side.
Yeah.
So I think Washington's going to score in this game, and I want to just add that I did bet the over of 49, not an official like here for the show, but just extra bet for you guys. The Rams are getting 30 in this game. The line's 49, the total. The Rams are getting into the 30s here, but Washington can score too. I expect this game to be, I don't know about you, but this is my feel, 35-20, 38-20. Yeah, way over. It's going way over. This is an easy over.
You think?
Way over. Way. The Rams are going to be in the 30s, and Washington can score. The Rams' defense is not shut down D here.
I just wonder how motivated Washington's going to be.
I think their offense. I mean, if I'm Sam Howell, I'm playing for a job still. There's going to be a new coach in town there next season. They've started to make some progress with him. Even in their bad games, Sam Howell's put up numbers. He's still chucking the ball all around, and their offense can put up points. I think they get to 20. That's why I was saying 35-20, 38-20, something like that. I feel like is going to be this game. So just wanted to add that I did bet over 49.
Okay,
a little bonus play there.
Yeah, I mean, Ron Rivera's clearly out there, and this Washington team is now, just trying to best position themselves for the upcoming draft. Is they're slated for what, number 4, number 3, something like that. I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was really, really impressed with the Rams offense last week in Baltimore with the weather game. They entered a shootout with Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. Very impressive. Yep. Stafford has 10 touchdowns in his last 3 weeks, only 1 pick. Now he's going home to face this Commanders team. Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. I will be playing plenty of Matt Stafford in daily fantasy.
Yeah. Stack those Rams. You're damn right there.
Stack Kyron Williams.
Play them all.
Puka Nacua. Demarcus Robinson's pretty good in place of Tutu Atwell there. Tyler Higbee's going to be back. Oh, man. Love this pick. Rams. This was close to a best bet for me, honestly.
Yeah.
It is square as fuck.
It's square. There's no
Does
question.
That scare you?
A little bit, but you know what? Square wins in the NFL sometimes, so you can't be I think,
especially after last week.
Well, last week was
the squares are due.
Yeah, last week I was looking at my card on Sunday, and I'm like, I hate this. I felt like very square, but square had been hitting, and not that you try to change what you do, but it's okay. There's games that are gonna finish like this, and what are you gonna do? 91% of the tickets and 94% of the money on the Rams.
I'm very curious if last week was, not to harp on last week, but I'm very curious if last week was Vegas's most profitable week in the NFL.
Oh, no question. It's no question about it. No question about it.
I mean, starting off with Thursday Night Football, everybody was on the under. They cleaned up.
Yeah, they did well.
Yeah.
They sure did.
They needed that week. All right, so that's a double for us. Rams -6.5. How high would you take that, by the way? What's the most you like them to?
I mean, look, if you're betting 6.5, you think they win by 7 or more. So, here's the thing,
7.5.
I would not. I wouldn't go to 7.5 because you can get it right now, widely available at 6.5. And if you wait, that's your fault. So
well, I'm speaking if somebody's listening to us on Sunday morning and this line has moved from 6.5 to 7.5.
Yeah, I gotcha. Let's see. Well, I'll tell you what I made the game.
I still kind of like it.
I don't think. Look, I think they're going to win by 10 or more.
Me too.
Made the game
Me
8.
too.
I made the game 8, so I'll call it 8.
Okay.
Because that's what my number says.
All right.
But I still think they win.
There you go. All right. Whose turn is it? Is it me?
That doesn't matter because we only have one like.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I will go. Point total for me here on this one. Very curious to get your take. Sorry, I'm just holding in a burp. Fail.
Let it loose, baby.
Sorry. It's all these bubbles from the Schweppes.
Yeah, the Schweppes.
The Schweppes seltzer. Oh, I'm so tired.
Early morning for you.
3:30 I've been up, though. Yep.
Oof, these kids, man.
Yep. Just old kiddo was up
They're awesome.
at 3:30. And then Tuck had to go to work.
And here we are.
I am dying right now. All right. My fourth and final like before we get to the rest and the best bets. Looking at the Niners and Cardinals. Not looking at the spread here. I almost did, though. In terms of Arizona, kind of lean Arizona covering on this one. Give me the point total. Over 47.5 for this one. Cards coming off a bye. They're still playing hard. No doubt about it. Last 3 games between these two teams. Earlier this year, we saw a final score of 35-16, and that was Josh Dobbs. Last year, we saw 38-13 and 38-10. And speaking of last matchup, the Cards at that point in the season were not featuring their now number 1 pass catcher in Trey McBride. It was still Zach Ertz at that time. Mm-hmm. It comes down to this. Niners are going to get in the 30s. We all know that. Yep. Pretty certain that the Cards can get into the 20s. Mm-hmm. There it is. It's as simple as that. The over is 6-0 in Arizona this season. Cardinals rank 30th in points allowed at home. 4 visitors have surpassed 30 points scored in Arizona, and the Niners have scored 30 or more points 8 times this season. 47.5. It is baity, I will admit that, but give me the over, 47.5.
Yeah, I like that play. I think it is going over in this game. Actually, it was the first side I looked at when I saw the number. I wanted to see what it was. I was hoping to get like a 45-ish out of it, but a little higher, so I laid off, but lean that way for sure. Also lean the Cardinals in this game. It was almost one of my likes.
Yeah, me too.
There's no more 14s on the board, but they did hit 14 for a while. I snagged a little 14. Look, at the end of the day, it's a division game. Kyler Murray's back. They're playing hard. I think, Kyler's had success against the 49ers. If they don't win, he's had some games where he's outright won. He's had some games where he keeps things close. I expect a little bit more of the same. I know DeAndre Hopkins was there in those past matchups, and he killed the Niners, quite honestly, a few times. Like, even when the 49ers won, DeAndre Hopkins had a few good games in there. But yeah. I think they're playing well enough to keep this within 14 in a higher scoring game, like a 31-21.
The one question mark I have is Marquise Brown, what his status is, because he's been banged up with a foot injury for multiple weeks now. Mm-hmm. Hasn't been practicing much. He tried to gut it out in Pittsburgh, but he left the game. He had 3 targets in that one. Mm-hmm. The bye week couldn't have come at a better time for him. Mm-hmm. But still, I don't know what his status is going to be for this week. But Trey McBride, like I mentioned, he's become the number 1 pass catcher there. Give me the over, 47.5, and I would lean Cardinals as well.
Fun rumor potential.
Oh?
The 49ers looking at Zach Ertz, showing interest in potentially signing him. Would be an interesting, not that it has anything to do with this game, but they're interested in signing him just to add to that team.
Yeah, there was a lot of buzz about him going back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, and now it's switching to the San Francisco side. So
because he wants a ring?
Yeah, because he wants to win.
He's won, though, right?
He won. Yeah, he won. He won with Foles.
Right.
So the only other thing on this I just want to mention, based off a little follow-up from last week with Brock Purdy, I'm loving watching my cash-out option just continue to rise up for my MVP play that I had on him.
Yeah.
Which was like a month ago.
Is he still the favorite?
Actually, him and Dak are like tied? Neck and neck. Okay. Yeah.
That's going to be a week-to-week thing.
Yep, and I'll explain why in short time, why I think who's going to win that award.
Yeah, and I was going to point to that game as well. All right, so those are our 4.
Wait, I got one more like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
This is my favorite like, Tuck. So as my number 2 like, not that I rank things
your favorite.
Like,
why isn't it your best bet then?
No, like my favorite of the likes. Of the likes.
I know.
The 4 likes.
Go
I didn't announce it. Way off. Sorry. Jesus.
It was empty.
Empty. Sure it was. Jacksonville, plus 3.5 Sunday night football against the Ravens. We're hosting Baltimore. Like I said, almost my best bet here, but Remember when I said the Rams were square and probably one of the squarest on the board? Well,
Ravens are
the
even
Ravens
more square.
are the squarest play on the board this week. So giving me 3.5 with Jacksonville. Oh boy, do I love this in a spot. Every time it got to 3, you're going to see money get hit by the public, and pro bettors are just going to take that right back down. So it's going to play between 3 and 3.5 is my guess. Right now, it's about split, so you can definitely get 3.5s out there. If it does go to 3, I don't suspect it's going to 2.5. I think you'll see it go back to 3.5. So yeah, I think it's going to be fine.
I'm seeing 3 at some places.
Yeah, you're going to see it halfway. It's like half and half. I'm looking across the board right now. That said, must-win game for the Jags here. Houston's 1 game behind, though I'm not like the way they're trending. Indianapolis is 1 game behind, right? So there's some heat on the Jags. They've lost 2 straight. Trevor Lawrence got banged up. Last week, didn't look 100% like himself.
Still put up points.
They still put up points. I loved the way they battled back in that second half. It went from a game that looked like it was going to be a blowout to a game that was very close. And here's the thing, Tuck. You can just break down the Jags in any way you want. But at the end of the day, the Jags win when they get ETN going. And they don't get him going.
He's been quiet.
They struggle, and that's why they've
He's
been
been
losing.
pretty quiet,
and that's why they've been losing. It's a direct correlation. Look at their games where they've lost. ETN's not played well. Look at the games they won. They've got him the ball. They've made him a factor in it. So the good thing for Jacksonville backers is that Baltimore is second in the league against the pass, and they're 14th against the run, so middle of the world against the run. They're going to force the Jags to make the run game go.
Yeah.
So I think that plays in their favor, right? He is a star when he gets going. He is one of the better backs in the league. In my
Kyron had
opinion,
over 100 yards versus this defense last week.
Exactly. You can run the ball on them. I mean, the Rams came out and ran down their throat. I was watching the game being like, okay, obviously the Ravens is my best bet. Did not expect that performance from the Rams, but also did not expect that result from the Baltimore defense. They played terrible in that game. And that's not to say that they're going to not bounce back and have a great game here. They can. They have talent. But you can definitely run on them. And then when you open up the run, as the Rams did, the pass game becomes much easier to throw the ball. You get more man-to-man. So things like that start to happen. Meanwhile, on the flip side of the ball, the Jags, they're really struggling against the pass, but they are 5th against the run. And sorry, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. If you are a team that's not great against the pass, and Lamar Jackson's coming to town and you can stop the run, I'm going to take the points if I'm getting them, because Lamar still, to me, cannot throw outside the numbers unless he's throwing a long ball deep, and you just got to try to not let guys get behind you. He struggles throwing sideline to sideline. You take away over the middle, and yes, Mark Andrews is now out. That hurts, but Isaiah Likely, we talked about him getting into the game last week and being a good factor.
Well, look at the resurgence that is pretty fun to watch of Odell.
He's playing great.
But
did you see the throws? I mean, the adjustments he had to make on just these wide open balls. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Like, it was frustrating to watch as a Ravens backer last week. But, look, Lamar's a special talent. I'm not here to knock him. But, look, outside the numbers, he still struggles to develop consistent passing game there. So, I think the Jags try to take away the middle of the field, stop the run. That's the strategy to beat the Ravens. These teams have met plenty of times since Lamar's been there. They know what to expect. You're giving me 3.5 on Sunday Night Football. That place is going to be rocking. They need this game. I think the Jags outright win. So I'll take the 3.5 happily. I think even if the Ravens win, again, similar to Cleveland, close game here.
Yeah. I mean, it's as square as it gets, honestly.
Ravens.
Yeah.
We'll take the sharp side there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my only hesitation, what's going to be everybody's hesitation is, the ankle injury to Trevor Lawrence. But to that, I would say, look what he did last week against a tough Cleveland Browns defense in Cleveland.
Yep.
Put up points still. So, yeah, I like it. And the Dogs have been absolutely slaying on a primetime football.
Sure are now.
I mean, we saw Bengals last week. Giants won outright. And then the Titans won outright.
Crazy.
It's been crazy in primetime football for the underdogs there. So there you go. All right, so let's cover the rest before we get to the best.
Yep.
Let's go circle back to Saturday's slate really quick. Vikings and Bengals. Bengals favored by 3. Point total in this one is 40.5. Nick Mullins will be taking over for the Vikings. I have absolutely no feel on this whatsoever.
I like the Bengals. I mean, not a full like here. I've been watching it. I'm sorry, Nick Mullins. I don't believe in it, and I'm starting to believe in the Jake Browning era here.
Doesn't he get banged up?
He did, but he's fine. He's fine.
He's
He's
okay.
fine. He's good. That's one that it's early, but we still know he is good. The Jake Browning era has been actually okay to watch.
Yeah. I mean, they've kept it short and sweet for him with a lot of screenplays. But hey, it's
though.
working.
It's working,
Yeah.
and you know what? Like, since he's got a real chance to still make the playoffs here, whether they're going to do anything, and there's a whole other discussion. But at the end of the day, there's so much talent on that team, and at home, 3.5. I think this game might come down to threes. We're seeing some juice threes in the market. I see some fours at places. So this one's all over the map. You right now 3.5, 4. But it looks like most places trending towards 3. And at 3, I really like Cincinnati. That would be a play for me.
Justin Jefferson said earlier today that he will play on Saturday after that weird injury where he had to go to the hospital for his chest, but he's fine.
Hit the back, chest injury.
Yeah.
The whole thing's
I guess
weird,
precautionary or whatever, but there you go. Steelers, Colts, I would probably lean the Steelers on this one because they've been playing like dog shit, and this is their season is on the line, and I trust Mike Tomlin to right the ship there. But still, all season, there's been some weird vibes going on amongst the players. It seems like we saw the half-ass effort of Deontay Johnson a few weeks back. George Pickens has been pitching. Still, I would trust the coach in this one. Take the points.
Yep.
Steelers plus 2.5. Point total on this one is 42.
Also lean that way. The reason it's not a play, Colts play really well at home. How about Tomlin just coming out and telling George Pickens he's going to act mature on the sidelines?
Is that what he did?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I love that about Tomlin. Say what you want about him as a coach. I mean, he gets these guys. This is a Mike Tomlin all-time spot, though. Like, these are where you back the Steelers. You don't back them as 6-point favorites. They're, season back up against the wall, season on the line, underdogs. Like, this is the Steelers play. This is where you want to back the Steelers. So, strong lean to the Steelers side for me.
All right, let's jump ahead to Sunday. Jets and Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 8.5. This line's been moving a lot. I've seen 9. I've seen 8.
Yeah.
Now at DraftKings, at least it's 8.5. Point total on this one is 37. Don't know if Tyreek's going to be playing in this one. I would venture to guess he would be since he came back into the game on Monday Night Football. But very scary ankle injury on Monday Night Football for Dolphins fans and fantasy players around the world, if you will. So I'd take the Jets points here, honestly.
This game is totally unbettable until I know what Tyreek Hill's status is. And I mean that after watching the game Monday night, the difference between that team when he was on the field versus off of it was literally night and day. And sure, some of it's game plan of Tennessee. That's not to say if he was on the field it would have looked perfect like it did all season. But this is the Dolphins, man. This is why they scare you as a backer. Like, they just disappear sometimes, especially in December. It's like, what's going on? You lose these games you should never lose. You're the 1 seed in the AFC. Now you fall back, and it's like, here we go again.
But the story outside of Tyreek was the Dolphins' defense against Will Levis last week.
Yeah.
Like, I know they had a pick 6 and everything, but still, you allowed that many points to Will Levis? Really?
Woof.
Yeah. Not ideal. So I don't know. In past weeks, this would have been the perfect get right spot for the Dolphins. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't know how to approach this game since we don't know the status of Tyreek Hill. And I will add that I know that the offense looked drastically different, but that did happen mid-game, so they had to adjust on the fly. So if they knew that Tyreek wasn't going to be playing, I would trust Mike McDaniel to come up with a plan, to life without Tyreek, if you will.
Yeah, the other thing is, like,
they would just pound the run between Mostert and A-Chain versus this Jets front.
100%. I just one other comment on the game. Like, good for Zach Wilson last week. I told you the Jets were going to win that game. Wish I bet that. I said on the show, this is a game the Jets are going to come
Won
up and
convincingly.
win. And, like, wasn't even close. And like, Zach Wilson, kudos to him, went out and played like nothing mattered. He said it before the game, and he sure played that way. Like, they were the better team on the field. If he plays like that, I mean, that's everything the Jets want. Their defense is outstanding. Like, just keep them off the field a little bit.
The run defense sucks.
Yeah, because they're tired all the time.
Yeah,
Like, I
fair.
mean, they're just on the field constantly.
Well, speaking of the two teams we just mentioned, the Texans and the Titans, Titans, they're favored by 3. I am seeing 2.5 at other places. That interests me. Point total in this one is 38. Again, Titans coming off of Monday Night Football here, but one of the best stories of the NFL season in the Houston Texans. That chapter seems to be closing, unfortunately, due to injury. I don't know what C.J. Stroud's status is for this one. He left the game with a concussion. I don't know what Nico Collins' situation is going to be. It was a calf injury, correct?
Correct.
And this comes a week or two after they just lost Tank Dell for the season. So we just don't have enough information. It's as simple as that. Even if Stroud is playing, and even if Nico plays, I still would probably lean Titans.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That was a huge loss for Tank Dell.
Huge loss. Tank Dell's been one of the bigger storylines that's going under the radar just because of like that offense. We talked about it last week. Did not look good when he got hurt. They looked terrible last week.
And the defense looked terrible too.
Yeah, and now you're adding C.J. Stroud, most likely unlikely to play. This line tells me everything I need to know. Like, somebody knows something.
I don't think I don't know if he plays.
He's not going to play.
Why would you risk your future?
There's no way he's playing, and the Titans are 3-point favorites in this game. On a short week, yes, at home, where they play better, but there's just no way they would be 3-point favorites. If C.J. Stroud plays in this game and that's a 3-point, that would be a large bet for me.
Honestly, if I'm them, I shut him down the rest of the year.
Well,
you're not going to make the play. You're not going to make the playoffs. You're not going
to do anything. But even if for the organization, you might want to try. But it depends. Like how banged up is he? We don't want a Tua situation,
right?
Exactly. So like,
protect your future. You're building something very solid in Houston. Be smart. Protect your future. Yep. Like I understand. Like the lust of wanting to make the playoffs and get that town buzzing and everything like that, and bringing the gate money and all that. But still, protect your future. You got something special you're building right there. Yep. Seriously.
Yep. Make sure he's safe first.
The Eagles and Seahawks. Eagles and Seahawks on Monday Night Football. Seahawks 4-point home dogs here. They are spiraling out of control. Philly is spiraling out of control. Point total on this one is 47.5. Who is DK Metcalf going to fight this week?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
My guess would probably be, Kelsey.
Go for it. A little roid rage fight there.
Yeah. Oh man,
take it easy.
Spark it up and just chill, man.
Try decaf, buddy.
Yeah, have an edible. Just take it easy.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. God. Why are you so pissed off?
Steroids.
Maybe.
I mean,
he looks like he is. Honestly.
The shoe fits. Yeah, I'm accusing DK Metcalf of taking steroids. Yeah, look at him.
It's not far-fetched.
I mean, he's a psychopath on the field.
Yeah.
Every week he's got a problem.
I have... That's the 49er coming out in you.
Sorry.
I have... I really would want to lean Seahawks here, but I just can't. I can't. But Philly is tumbling out of control here with their offense, and Jalen Hurts hasn't been running like he has been. He's banged up, clearly. But still, it's a stay away from me.
Yeah, the Eagles they've been in a gauntlet. This is their first step out of that gauntlet, but they're two teams trending in the absolute wrong direction. I'm going to tell you this. Seattle +4 was going to be on my card. The reason it's not is because I don't think Geno Smith's going to come back and play in this game.
You don't.
And I think Drew Lock's going to play, and I think when they announce Drew Lock, I'm going to get Seattle +6 or 7, and then I'm going to bet Seattle.
Okay.
So if that happens,
I would back that.
That's my strategy for this game. If it doesn't, if Geno Smith plays, this game stays around 4, I'll probably be on the Seahawks here. It's just too many points.
All right, well, let's move ahead to our best bets here. I will go first since I suck.
Hey, 1 second.
What?
No Thursday Night Football bets, but Thursday Night Football bets?
Thursday Night Football bets. No Thursday Night Football bets.
Worst game you could
Chargers and fucking Raiders. Raiders -3. Point total here is 34. Under, and probably the fucking Chargers cover is my guess, honestly.
I just have one comment about this. How do they not put Jimmy Garoppolo in the game at some point? Like, I get it. He makes mistakes, and he's not good, but, like, dude, 3-0. I mean, they removed Josh Dobbs from
I didn't
that
watch
game
a
in
ton of
Minnesota.
that game.
Nor should you have, but
Yeah.
nor did I. I didn't even rewatch the game. There's nothing to watch. Nothing happened.
I mean,
it was your under dream.
Well, I think my only theory is that they just want to see what Aiden Connell has. He's a rookie, and they know that Jimmy's not going to be in the team next year. So why waste your time? Like you're trying to build.
I just meant even one game. Like it was
There's no
0-0
point.
going in the fourth quarter.
You know what you got with Jimmy, so why throw him out there?
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, seriously.
That was gross, though.
But I have known nothing about Easton Stick, but what I've gathered is that he can actually scamper a little bit.
Yeah, he can move a little bit.
He runs a 4.6
Yeah.
too.
He's like a preseason hero every year.
So you'd see that probably worked into this offense this week with obviously no Justin Herbert done for the year. They're going to pound Austin Eckler, is my guess. Wouldn't shock me if the Chargers cover this one 3
I'm
points.
not even going to say the words, but I do lean that way. But I mean, Keenan Allen's got a heel injury. Does he play? I don't know. This is a gross game. This is an actual. They get worse every week.
Yeah.
How do you get worse in the past?
Although we said that last week, and it actually turned out to be a pretty good game.
I guess. Ugh.
Like I think even Al Michaels was surprised.
Yeah, Al Michaels was like, "All right, we'll take it."
Yeah. By the way, just real quick, they actually had a solid conversation about the Patriots franchise moving forward. It felt like it was like a sports talk radio segment. And it was like in the third quarter.
Yeah,
they had a great back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought, it was a good hat. I tip my hat to the Amazon broadcast crew. I thought that was very, very enjoyable to listen to.
All right.
All right, let's move on to our best bet since we covered the rest. I will start, like I said, because I blow. 4-10 on the season on best bets. But give me the Giants +6 on the road in New Orleans. This opened 4.5, I believe. Mm-hmm. I don't know why there's more points moving towards the Saints side of things. If you can explain that to me before I move on. I don't know if I missed something here. It opened at 4.5, and now it's at 6.
Yeah, I don't understand this game. I lean to Giants. I'm with you here. There's trends out there that would support the Saints, but they're not strong enough trends that you mention here. It's like at 6 though. The Saints stink.
There's multiple angles to this pick. Did we all witness what happened in New Orleans last week with Derek Carr and his teammates? Mm-hmm. Eric McCoy, captain, and he's this guard or a center. I don't know. He's a lineman for the Saints, captain, mind you.
Yep.
Screaming at Derek Carr coming off the field. I think it was in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. They hate Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Clearly. And if I'm a fan in New Orleans, I would hate his guts too. This guy sucks.
He is
and
bad.
you gave all that money to this guy?
Yep.
He sucks.
Terrible.
This team is just falling apart quick, it seems like. Last week, honestly, should have been closer with the Panthers. If Bryce Young could have some sort of solid quarterback play. Did you see that pass to Jonathan Mingo?
Yeah, terrible.
Right over the top, and he just could not connect. Wide fucking open.
Yeah.
Easy touchdown, and he couldn't hit him.
Wide open.
Could have been a closer game, honestly. Saints are 2-8-1 against the spread as a favorite this season. Mm-hmm. In terms of the Giants, this is turning to a very, very enjoyable Broncos type of storyline, if you will, and they're all rallying around Tommy DeVito. I said it last week. Saquon Barkley, he looks like he's playing at his best. Giants O-line, they've looked pretty solid over the past couple weeks after a rough stretch with Daniel Jones there. No sacks allowed last week against the Packers. The Giants, they have been an outright winner in 3 straight games as an underdog, and they have a shot at the playoffs. An outside shot, mind you, but still a shot at the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I think this is a nice spot for them. They have the Eagles coming up twice in their schedule, so they know they have to take care of business this week against this reeling, dreadful Saints team. Give me the Giants +6. Arrow pointing up on this New York Football Giant team for me. Yeah.
Tommy DeVito.
And, yeah, we can say the Tommy Cutlets thing.
Tommy
Hey, did you hear he's Italian? Hey, did you see his agent on Twitter? I don't know if you saw his agent. Enough. Will you please? I'm Italian. You're Italian. Get over it.
Support the brand, baby. Tommy Cutlets.
I love
Support
it.
I want more of it. I want more of it. The Giants are winning games now.
I love it, too. I don't like the social media coverage of it.
Well, that's the,
It's enough. We get it.
Yeah.
They're Italian.
Well, the NFL's going to do that.
All right.
Bury it.
It's fine. Move on. The only reason why it's like a great-ish story is the fact that he's playing in New York. And he's staying with his brother, right?
He sucked at Syracuse. He sucked at Illinois. And now he's playing pretty well. It's a good story.
Italian playing in New York. I get it. It's a good story. It's enough.
Yeah.
All right? I don't need to see his agent 48,000 times through my feed of what he was wearing on Monday Night Football. It's enough.
Get that.
Move on. Jesus.
Show him 10 more times for a 6-point win or a 6-point cover here.
Giants +6, best bet.
There we go. All right, my friend. I am going to the big game, what I would call the big game of the week.
The balls on this pick. The balls on this pick.
You ready?
Yep.
Best bet. Buffalo Bills -1.5. Hey, Tuck, here we go. Get on the train.
The balls.
This is the last time you people can get on this train. I'm going to give you a bunch of bets in this game. Are you ready? The Bills are winning this game. They're covering the spread. They're winning the AFC East. They'll represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
No, they won't.
There you go. Plus 2,200 right now on DraftKings. San Francisco Buffalo Bills
worth a
Super Bowl.
sprinkle.
Put it on there.
It's worth a sprinkle.
Thank me later. It's coming. The Bills are back. I was wrong about the Bills. I didn't think they had the balls to go and win that game in Kansas City last week. And say what you want.
They did.
They went in and they won. You can say for the refs, well, guess what? They would have got the ball back, and Josh Allen in that instance is
How many timeouts did they
goddamn
have?
good.
2?
I actually don't know. I wanted to look that up, but I do.
Plenty of time for
It was
Josh.
plenty of time to get down and score more points. So I'm not even convinced that KC wins that game, even if they counted that. Okay, so whatever. Let's focus on this week. I'll try to calm down about the futures here, but really like Buffalo this week. You know, and it's. I'm a big stat guy, as you guys can tell. I look at stats, I look at trends, I try to find any angle I possibly can when I look at games and look at bets. But this one is a little bit of stats, but more about the eye test. I mean, just watch these games. The Bills look healthier. That bye came at a huge time. Josh Allen looks right for the first time. He's not turning the ball over as much recently, and they're playing good opponents here. The game in Philly was a tough spot for them. They went in, they battled. That was a close game. They lost in overtime. Then they get their bye, they come back out, they get Kansas City, they beat them outright in KC. So really like the way they're trending. And what has been my argument about Buffalo all year long? It's about not getting the run game going enough. And here we go. They're starting to run the ball. James Cook has been awesome over the last couple of weeks, finally getting him involved in the run game, but also the pass game, right? So it's not just Josh Allen to Diggs. It becomes too predictable. They're overcoming injuries. The guys are stepping up. The defense is playing better, right? So everything trending in the right direction in Buffalo. I really like the way that they're trending. On the flip side, for Dallas, also red hot, right? Came off a huge win against Philly, needed it. Now look at that. They're in the lead in the AFC East, except for the fact that they could win out, and they wouldn't win the AFC East if Philly wins out, and they actually win the AFC East. Bad news for Dallas, you're not going to win out because you're going to lose Sunday, and here we go. Dallas, they have a tough schedule. They started with Philly. They go to Buffalo, to Miami. They have Detroit left on the schedule. Like, their gauntlet now starts. So I think you're going to see a little bit back up from Dallas. Like, congratulations on your win against the Eagles, but you got the Eagles at the best time you could have possibly got the Eagles at the end of a gauntlet.
Very true.
They're beat up from the San Francisco game, who just exposed them and showed you exact blueprint on how to keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket, rush with 4, and with Parsons, you can do that, right? Their blueprint was there. They followed it to a T, and they smoked Philly. Kudos to you for doing it. I didn't think I'd see that, but I did, okay? So it's just a horrendous spot for Dallas. Now you go up to Buffalo. The only win here for Dallas is this game's going to be in the 40s. And in Sunday in December, you're getting 40-degree weather. You got to take that. But that's still cold for Dallas. That's not what they're used to. They're used to being indoors, beating up on all these schmuck teams or banged up teams. So forget it there. Buffalo, from a stats side, we'll get away from the eye test stuff. Buffalo still, despite their struggles all season long, Tucker, 5th in the league in pass offense, 10th total rushing, 5th in total offense, 5th in yards per play. We've seen this. Dallas is totally beatable on defense. I know their stats say they're good, But again, I think they're heavily overrated. They're still a very good defense, so I don't want to get my words twisted, but they can still be very good and overrated because they beat up on these schmuck teams all year long. We saw Brock Purdy light them up. We even saw Josh Dobbs light them up early. And if you want to go back to recent, we just have to go 2 weeks ago to when Geno Smith lit them up. And Josh Allen playing the way he's playing, I expect Josh Allen to light him up. And if you want to take a little sprinkle on a guy that could win this MVP, we talked about Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. But Josh Allen, if they win out, he brings them back from 6-6 to potentially win the AFC East and bring them into the playoffs. He's a 20-1 sprinkle right now. That's worth a sprinkle. I played it this morning just in case my theory comes true. If he takes them back from the dead to 11-6, that's going to hit. And at the end of the day, I just think that Buffalo's momentum carries over after their win against Kansas City last week. They beat Dallas by at least a field goal. I expect it to be closer to a touchdown or more. Give me the Bills, -1.5, best bet.
I'm firing off fucking bets right now.
All of them. Play them all.
I'm firing.
Let's go, Buffalo. Get me a table.
I'm firing.
Get me a table.
I'm firing all those picks you just mentioned. All the futures. I think they're absolutely worth sprinkles.
They're just too large in number, right? I mean, when you're playing a Super Bowl like exact, that's everything's going to break your way, but that's worth a shot.
It totally is.
2,200.
I still think that it's
AFC
the Ravens
is wide open.
I still think the Ravens advance, but the bet is absolutely worth it.
The value's there.
Yeah.
The Niners are the clear favorite in the NFC. As good as Dallas is playing, they beat you 42-3.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to go through Levi Stadium, it's starting to look like. We'll see. That's a big game on Christmas night next week. Niners, Ravens. Little look ahead there. Also partly why I leaned the Arizona Cardinals. It's Christmas night.
That's next week? That's 2 weeks.
Well, technically 2 weeks because we're recording on Wednesday, but this weekend's the 17th, 18th.
Wait, what's
16th,
today?
17th, 16th, 17th. This is like the 13th or something. Yeah, 13th.
17th is
Sunday. 24th, Christmas Eve is next Sunday, but there's
Is it really?
3 Christmas games as well. So
fuck, I gotta do my show.
You better hurry up. Buy everybody Josh Allen MVP tickets. Make it easy. We cash together. Happy holidays. Have a good one.
No.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Christmas Monday Night Football.
Yes.
That's why I'm getting fucked up.
Niners, Ravens, Monday Night Football.
All right, there you go. All right, well, let's recap this slate here real quick. Likes for me. Pats +9.5, Packers -3, double like Rams -6.5, Niners Cards over 47.5. Matt, Detroit -4, shut up. Chicago +3.5, double like we mentioned, Rams -6.5, and the Jags +3.5.
That was like I was with your sister. I didn't even say anything, and you tell me to shut up.
Don't breathe.
It's like I'm with his sister.
I heard that breath. Do not breathe.
Sorry about that.
Do not breathe.
That's absolutely what she says to me, by the way.
What?
Don't breathe.
Oh. Well, we all heard the collective because you thought you were going to talk, but I'm firing these through.
Okay.
Best bet for me, fade, Giants +6. Buffalo -1.5 for Matt. Play.
Love it.
All right. Think we covered it all.
Yeah, I think that was a great show.
Yeah. I don't remember anything. I'm still fucking exhausted.
Well, you look great, kid.
Do I?
Yeah.
Questionable.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for checking out the podcast and do all the likes and the stuff. And thank you, Hurley. Appreciate everything. Let's bounce back this week.
We're going to bounce back.
I feel good about this.
We're bouncing back.
I'm going to have a nice stream on Saturday night and text you about it Sunday morning. Fine. Very nice stream.
Deal. Here's a dream. Here's an extra pick. College bowl season starts this weekend.
Yep.
For the people who have stuck with us, best play of the weekend, UCLA -3.5. It's okay at 4 if it's there. Anything under 5 is fine.
-3.5.
Or 4. It's fine, depending on where you're shopping.
-3.5. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Check us out on Instagram, @BettorLaws, for those picks that you give out on the college side of things. And we'll see you guys next week. Good luck.
See you, buddy.